Well, I was sitting there talking and we were disconnected. I got to pay more attention to my screen. It was high up in altitude. That happens, cold drops. But as I was saying, imagination is more important than knowledge, and knowledge is limited while imagination encircles the world. It is our imaginations, front and center, that is moving this civilization forward. It is not impeding it. It's moving the civilization forward. And our transition is full speed ahead. If you get the ego mind, they'll come in and say, this is silly, this is stupid. Come with me, you'll be all right. Just don't pay attention to that nonsense. It's all nonsense. And that's what you'll get, too, because you'll get a fight. And some of us have already had that conflict, kind of. Maybe when you remember when you were young, you had an imaginary friend who talked to you all the time, yet nobody else could hear or see them. Or perhaps you were a weirder child and wondered what a banana would say if it could speak, or how the sunset colors would taste if you could lick them. See, that's imagination. That's what it's about. Whatever fantasies or creative games that we played back then, we are still playing them on some level today. They're just more, dry, adult-like, serious games that we're playing on the inside. And our minds are still making up all sorts of stories about everything and everyone, including ourselves. It is believing in oneself first. It's all about you first before it can be about anybody else. Because you learn through you and the experiences that you create for yourself in this life. I don't believe that any two of us are exactly the same of experience. We all perceive, someone could have the same experience as someone else, but it's not the same. You know what I mean? It's not the same experience for one compared to the other. It's totally different. How you feel, what you see, what you hear, how you respond. Our imaginations are creating everything in our lives. Everything. It is responsible for creating every fear that you have. It's imagination. Remember, whatever you can imagine, you can create. And since it has created all our fears, it also has the power to stop creating them and invent something totally brand new. Like what? New Earth. God Planet Paradise. And our imagination, whether you've suppressed it or not, is always on. It's never off. It's always forming new movies inside. And we still have this amazing power of imagination working every day inside of us, except it's kind of been directed a different way. The real question is, are we willing to step beyond any normal, ordinary versions of reality that we've created and discover a place inside where anything is possible? Our imaginations are absolutely extremely powerful. They're immeasurable in their power. Just notice what happens inside your mouth when you imagine biting into a super spicy jalapeno taco covered in hot sauce. Think the salivary glands start firing up as the body reacts to whatever the mind sees inside. So when you get hooked, guess what? Hooked in imagining things like, doom and gloom. Bad guys are destroying everything. We're losing everything. It's horrible. It's getting worse and worse and worse. Okay? So you can be hooked into imagining something like that, something that you don't want to see, something that you can't accept, cannot understand, or relax with. Then your body continues to react in flight or fight mode each time. After a few repetitions, fearful chemical can instantly form inside our brains whenever we have that same thought pattern again. Now this is something that you either choose to embrace from this day forward or not. It's up to you. But I do invite you to realize right now that your mind is responsible for creating all of your fears. All of them. Every terrifying, heart-beating, panic-driven, life-freezing sensation you've ever had came from completely from your imagination. The trust is your mind, in your mind, is making a movie all the time. It seems very real, yet it is still just a movie inside the screen of your mind. That which is real is what never changes. That's it, okay? That which is real is what never changes. The constant stream of pure white light awareness in the back of the cinema show. This light is what's projecting all the images you're seeing on the screen. If you want to become authentically fearless, and this is very crucial now, because of this massive, phenomenally higher uplifting frequencies, that you don't dare begin to fear them. So to become authentically fearless, you choose to take the full responsibility for your inner movie show and get in touch with what your deepest, darkest, fearful movie truly is. This is not just about getting over the Nightmare on Elm Street horror movie. It's dealing with the real fears which are blocking all of us at times from creating the life that we want to live. And this fearless commitment to ourselves is that we will stop avoiding fear for the next, this is a biggie, for the next 21 days of your life. And instead, explore it with a childlike curiosity. You guys remember what that is, don't you? Because we all still have it. Perhaps, for instance, perhaps you're afraid of intimacy, giving public speeches, great heights, insects, dogs, huge crowds, or tight elevator spaces. Take a few minutes right now, and in your mind, in your heart mind, write out an extensive list of everything. After this meditation, write out a list of everything that makes you cringe and want to run, scream, or hide. It takes honesty with oneself to do this, and trust. Include everything that you can think of until you're empty. Take as much time as you need in making your fear list. It can be one of the most liberating things you will ever do yet this year. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear. Ambrose Redmoon. Now, after you complete this fear list, take your top fear. Imagine the solution to releasing this one fear is inside that old dark cellar hidden in the backyard of your great-grandparents' first home, if that's the case. Use your imagination with whatever you want to depict. You're actually opening the creaky, dusty, dark cellar door right now and seeing the long, dark tunnel inside it. You have no clue how long this dark tunnel is or when you'll reach the end. Your inner child is curious, though, and you step inside and start walking down the long passageway that happens to contain the most amazing secret treasure waiting at the end just for you. You feel courageous, though, and willing to trust in the experience of exploring your fear. Now, no matter how frozen you may feel inside, always remember that approaching your fear is a very magical and empowering thing to do. Every fear is created from your imagination, and you are always in charge of what happens. Every fear is created from your imagination, and you are always in charge of what happens. So just relax. Enjoy the scary ride. You may want to rely on your inner light to guide you through the darkness and trust in the fear exploration process. This is why a deep curiosity is needed. This is why we bring our childhood curiosity to front and center, to constantly shift us into excitement mode. The most amazing treasures in this life are hiding in the last place we would think to look. Pretty ironic. The most amazing treasures in this life are hiding in the last place we would think to look. As we reach the very end of our dark passageway, we see someone is sitting there meditating in front of a white candle. An odd sensation of trust comes over your body. And as you feel this person is a very old familiar friend you once knew, you look into their eyes and you see how extremely happy they are to meet you again. You know in your heart that this old friend is the wildest, craziest, fearless person you have ever known. This person is your new fearless friend, and they are here to guide you into fearlessness. Your fearless friend has never, ever, ever, ever felt any fear about the thing or situation that you are afraid of. They are actually deeply in love with whatever it is you are afraid of. And they are actually looking forward to doing that thing which you fear. Your fearless friend seems to have a spiritual experience doing the thing you fear. Notice the tremendous joy, awe, and pleasure they have on their face just thinking about doing what you fear. You both are now back in your own cozy home, and you're getting to know each other more personally, sitting down with your friend on the couch. Listen to their creative story about why they love doing the thing you fear. You are becoming the best of friends. This person loves hanging out with you and helping you to overcome your fear. Listen to all the fun, wild, and crazy stories they have. Notice how scary, exciting, and liberating it is for you to hang out with your new fearless friend. Explore how they think, how they feel about this life, how and what their average day is like. Feel how they are naturally relaxed and at peace with whatever it is that you fear. We are what we pretend to be, so we must be careful about what we pretend to be. Kurt Vonnegut. Spend lots of deep quality time interviewing your new friend. Practice stepping into their body, feeling what it's like to be totally fearless. How do they feel getting out of bed each morning? What is their attitude about life and death? What does a fearless heart feel like? Capture as many juicy details as you can until you have a strong sense of what it's like to feel the fearlessness that is inside their body. Experience how their body responds with joy, pleasure, or deep awe. Whenever they are doing the thing you are afraid of doing. The final step to this amazing exercise is where the real fearless work begins. In your real daily life, a few minutes after you wake up every morning, and just before you fall asleep every night, spend some time with your fearless friend. Do this for at least 21 days. It may be just a few minutes each morning and evening, yet be consistent with meeting your fearless friend right before you fall asleep and right after you wake up. Give them a hug. Tell them you love them and feel what it's like to be together every day and night. You can even plan to meet at some common place in your dreams at night and have an imaginary cup of tea together. You can hang out all night long if you want and do tons of fun, fearful things together. Be adventurous. Be creative. Get to know them intimately and engage in some deep, interesting conversations with them about this life. Look deep into the eyes of your fearless friend every time you meet. Feel what it is like to live in their heart and soul. Explore the actual realness of this newfound relationship until it feels as real as how your mother and father are for you. Every morning and evening, keep practicing and practicing. Fake it till you make it if need be. Experience what their fearless mind feels like. You may even try breathing their fearless energy into your heart, seeing how may change how your body feels. If you make the time to create a real relationship with your fearless friend every day for 21 days, I can guarantee you something miraculous will occur. Naturally, organically, you will inherit all their fearless qualities and become free from any fear you may have had. So enjoy the journey. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted. I'm sure we all are. And the first thing that we care to do, relax our bodies from head to toe, inside and out. Let go of all your fears, whatever they may be. You're the only one that knows it. When you're truly honest and trusting with yourself, you'll know what those fears are. And let them go. It's like I say, you get them on the couch, you start talking with them. And of course, you've got your fearless friend. And what does the fearless friend represent? All the fears that you're afraid of. And you watch the fearless friend literally eat them up for lunch. The only fear is what you imagine. That's it. The only fear is what you imagine. So you imagine things, and there's the fear. And the moment we all start seeing life as non-serious, a playfulness, all the burden of our hearts disappear. All the fear of death, of life, of love, of poverty, of everything disappears. One starts living with a very light weight or almost no weight. So weightless, so light that you can fly in the open sky. So you let it all fall away. You don't need to grip onto it anymore. You don't need to hold it in the basement. You just bring it up into the light and let it go. And it will leave. And you will start to realize that it was your imagination that created it. Have you ever noticed on this planet, taking a moment, sitting out in nature and thinking through the heart-mind? All the doom and gloom that has ever been proposed upon this planet, how much of it has actually materialized? Think about that. Throughout the history, how many things have been, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. Did they happen? No. Why? Because in that instant, many of us embraced the fear. And when the fear was embraced, it became no more, and it had no power, and it was gone. So our focus was embracing the fear, even though we didn't think we were embracing it. So we embraced the fear in the event or whatever it was that was saying that was going to happen, and this is going to happen, and that's going to happen, and this is going to happen, and it doesn't. Everything that happens on this planet is us. That's the force. That's the pure consciousness. That's the God source. Imagine everybody on this planet directing their attention on the gods that they are. Within literally seconds, any negatives, any disruptions, any worries, stresses, and fears on this planet would vanish when we concentrate through our heart minds, which actually control, you discovered control the ego mind, and you state to yourself that this ends, it no longer exists, and it won't. But you can't do it through the ego mind, because it does nothing. It does nothing. So our transition, this evolution that we're in, this is an evolution. Relaxing the body as much as you can. Going within, choosing to go within. Embracing all the fears that we all have fears. There's none of us don't have fears because we all have imaginations. And it's becoming fearless and it's just letting go. The true self is the God within. Who do you think your best friend, your fearless friend is? It is you, the God that you are. Do you think that Source, pure consciousness, has fear? Nope. Well, how do we get that fear? When we enter these bodies, that old imagination gets really fired up. The ego mind, the subconscious mind, it really gets fired up. So it's us relaxing ourselves. It's like inherently so. And you talk with the body and you say, body, let's make sure that you're relaxed. All right? Let's sit on the couch here and figure out, what we need to do as far as house cleaning. That's the moment when each of us starts seeing life, this life that we're in right now, is non-serious, a playfulness, and all the burden in our heart disappears. All the fear of death, of life, of love, everything disappears. And we begin living a very light weight. Isn't that what we all seek? Truly, when it all comes down to it? Isn't that what we're all seeking? And how ironic that it's been inside of us the whole time. Generation after generation, century after century, millennia after millennia. It's just amazing. And all the time we've spent seeking outside of ourselves to no avail. This is an endless journey for all of us. And it is all about you. It isn't about anybody else. It's all about you. And eliminating your fears. This is when we decide that I am not going to take this life. I'm going to take this life as non-serious, as playful. As that's a decision that each of us make. Well, I'm an adult. Shoot, I can't do that. I have responsibilities. Does that have anything to do with responsibilities? The reason that our lives are not a joy is because of the fact we take them so seriously. The reason that we aren't more playful, happy, and joyous is because we take these lives so seriously. Have you ever had someone say to you, "Aren't you got to be serious here? Aren't you ever serious? Do you think everything's a joke?" And they don't understand yet. No, quite honestly, I've decided not to take this life seriously. Because eventually I'll leave the body and I will continue. Forever? You see how it's been switched on all of us? What switched that? Ego mind. Would we need the ego mind? No, we wouldn't. So that's why it's scraping, clawing, and trying to stay in control. Not too much different than the empire that is losing the power to control this planet. Yeah. Because the civilization is waking up enough to realize that they must go. We have no need for them any longer. They must go. And they will go. Maybe not willingly, but they will go. And you, all of us, are the ones that are forming that energy, moving it into form, creating it into reality. The new earth, is all of us. That's the new earth. It is our decision to raise our frequencies and keep them high. No matter how much of the external life that we've created, and the ego mind will try to convince us otherwise. Just remember, it's up to you because you're the power. Each of us are the power. We're the love. We're pure, deep, eternal love. And to keep these bodies relaxed through this celebration is absolutely imperative. These are things that many of us aren't used to doing. But believe me, it will feel like home once you engage it. So as our bodies are relaxed because we are the master of these bodies, as many of us don't know it, eventually we'll be able to heal these bodies in the blink of the eye. So the body becomes light as a feather, as if it could fly. And once that happens, we leave the ego mind, subconscious mind alone. We leave them. That's it. We leave them. That means stilling the mind. And we don't have any thoughts. We aren't thinking. We're just being. We have no mind chatter. It's gone. We're at the front door of the living room of where our God is, which is truly who we are. And we're getting ready to walk in. And that's part of fearlessness. Because the God that you're going to meet behind that door is the God you are. And your fearless friend. We, as gods, flow through these physical forms, these biological life forms, and we give this life form life. God gives life. You're the God. You give the body life. The body sustains you on this planet through this life that you chose to enter into. until either you choose to leave it or you're forced to leave it through neglect of the body and lack of connection with the God that you are. Or I should say, consciously aware that you are. So in the body, there are these wheels of light. The chakra means wheel of light. And they're all different colors. There's roughly 7 from the spine, the tip of the tailbone, top of the head. This is where we flow. And through these energy vortexes, these chakras, these wheels of light, we flow through every blood vessel, every tendon, every ligament, every bone, every organ, everything through this body, and all of this body's emotions. They're not the God emotions, they're the body's emotions. It's no different than you getting into a car. You're not the car, you're you. The body is not you. It's a vessel that carries you as you power it. You see that understanding? It starts to become real clear. The soul, the God, the pure consciousness comes into this body. It powers the body. The lungs begin to function, everything starts to function. And the breath sustains the body. And we all know without the breath, we would have to leave the body. So you see how intimate this relationship is. You, the power source, the God that you are, of the body that carries you on this planet. Now imagine something. It'd be almost like you're blind, right? And you try to drive a car. Now, you remember driving a car, all right, at one time. So you get in a car, and you say, okay, I'm going to drive this car. But you can't see. That's what it's like to be unconsciously aware that you're not the body, you're the God in the body. And that's what we do. And we create our experiences. But do we create them knowingly? Most of the time, no. This is why it becomes so frustrating for so many. I've got a dark cloud over me, or I've got this happening. I just must be doomed. No. It's your frequency and what you're creating for yourself and what the universe keeps delivering to you. So we are heaven on earth. Heaven, the soul, the God, the pure consciousness, the God source, the body, earth, and every step we take, we're creating paradise. We are turning this planet into a God planet paradise. It's what it was originally intended to be. And this planet's going to glow because we'll shine our light so bright outside of us, from emanating from the God within, shining it outward 360 degrees, 24/7. This planet's going to glow brighter than anything possibly in this entire universe. And those that are consciously aware will be able to go outside the outer atmosphere. We'll be able to look at this planet and see it glow. And not only that, eventually your bodies will glow. And that transformation is in high gear. And the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, all they're trying to do is convince this civilization that it's going to be doom and gloom forever. That things are going to be just nasty, bad, and horrible and get worse. Now, what's the power there? What's the power? That you are not consciously aware that you are the God and that all of this around you was created by you, not for you. So these lower dark matter frequencies darn well know that if they can convince us to literally believe that, then guess what? Whatever we put our attention on and focus on, we create every single time. You want to know a fast way to literally eliminate all the graphene oxide and all those people that took the vaccine so far? Us, collectively. Completely vaporize it from the body. Oh yeah, we have that power. We just hardly have ever practiced it, or to be consciously aware that we practiced it. Cleaning the oceans, the atmosphere, and everything. Oh yeah, we all have that power. We always have. Saving all life, the highest supreme value in the universe. Oh yeah, we have that power. That's why we call upon all the light energy beings. And who are they? They're us. They're everything. And all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. They're parts of the gods that we are. And then some of the parts of the one are asleep. You ever had your foot fall asleep? Some of you probably have experienced this. And so your foot falls asleep, and you get up to walk, and by golly, you can't walk on that foot until it wakes up. That's kind of like the parts of us that are asleep. So all the light energy beings. That includes the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes. That includes the ascended masters. This means the spirit, the God source. Not the physical form. And don't think that every soul is conscious, because it isn't. It is conscious, but the soul isn't aware that it is conscious. In fact, some souls don't even know what they are. The reason we incarnate in these bodies is to learn about what we are, who we are. That's why it's so precious to have these vessels instead of squandering the time, worrying, stressing, and fearing about everything outside of us, and never visiting the God within, who we really are. So Ascended Masters, Kuan Yin, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Moria, Abundantia, Hell, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua, all the galactics, all the off-worlders, all the celestials. Celestials being all the planets. Now, we have over 1,000 species that travel through the solar system every day. We have trillions throughout the universes that travel and traverse every day. And we only know not even a fraction. Pleiadians, Sirians, Arcturians, Andromedans, Felines, Zeta Reticuli, Nords, Greys, Draco Reptilian, Golden Pyramid Avian. Now, just that small group, they've been assisting us in our evolution, in our enlightenment, in our ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. all of our loved ones, all of those who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes we've inhabited, when they leave the body, they're no longer that which they left. They carry the memory of it. We've had many lifetimes. Many, 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 many. In all those lifetimes, as souls, as gods, are within us. All the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, and beneath earth. All these civilizations, housed in physical forms, with the gods within, some awake, some asleep, but we're all assembled here in the Gugaplexes. One Gugaplex fills this entire universe with not even 1 cubic square inch of sacred space to spare. These are trillions of Gugaplexes coming from trillions of universes in every direction, of which we are. And all of us gather in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. We are unending. We are eternal beings. We immediately form this massive circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This light emanates from the gods that we are within these bodies. The source, the God source, the pure consciousness, the kingdom of God. You, all of us, are gods. Once and for all, embrace that understanding without guilt, fear, anxiety, undeserved, because your ego mind will try to convince you otherwise. But once and for all, to understand that we are the gods. And we always have been. And we are awakening. And all that wish to put us asunder shall be no more. This light is the God source light. It is what we're made of. The highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Gratitude, peace, all of it. And it's flooding this planet. How can the frequencies not increase? How can the human resonance be off the charts like it is? How can all this be happening? Is there a force out there that we don't know about? No. The force is us. The collective consciousness of all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. It isn't anything else. It's us. We're all that there is. Ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. We are eternal beings. And we're tremendously, omnipotently powerful. Without a question, without a doubt. The only doubt is the ego, the mind. The only lack of confidence is the ego mind. We begin to ascend above this planet. We're immediately met with this massive ocean of glitter. It takes over the darkness of space, of sacred space. This glitter is everywhere, flashing everywhere. It's like a ballroom globe in the ceiling, all mirrored, flashing colored lights everywhere. But it's about 1 trillion times more intense, and it's massive. The bowl is larger than the solar system, and it's flashing everywhere. And we notice that the points of flash are little microscopic mirrors. So we enter them, and we discover that all of us, and I'm talking about the animals, the birds, the trees, the grass, everything is the God. And all of it is teaching us, and we're teaching it. And it's learning from us, and we're learning from it. It is a constant. It never ends. Anybody that comes into your life, I don't care if it's a bunny rabbit, you're learning something from it, or it you, or both. But we're always learning. We will never stop learning. And as we learn, we teach. And as we teach, we learn. It's absolutely magnificent. We're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column that we created to remind us all that we are the power of healing. We were then met with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. Then we're met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we created that reminds us all that from head to toe, inside and out, eternally, we are imbued with a white fire armor that emanates from the God force, love, light energy within each and every single one of us. It's impenetrable. It is creation. The frequency is of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest, deepest, and the purest of the purest, purest eternal love. It is unending. Nothing can harm us, ever. No lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, no demon possession, no attachments. But only you, only you have the power. That if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough, through hatred, fear, whether consciously or unconsciously, hatred, fear, greed, envy, hurry, stress, anxiety, revenge, you will lower your vibrational frequency low enough to create a breach in your white fire armor to allow the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. Now, if you do decide to do this, you're immediately met with a double column of light. The first part of that is the purple transmuting flame. We created it to remind us that we can bring the purple transmuting flame in, transmute all these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness where they are completely gone. Then the violet ray, the second part of the column of light that we created to remind us all that we can bring in the violet ray. We can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies once were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor and restoring our vibrational harmony. The highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We're then met with the golden white pink light. This is a column of light that we created. It reminds us all we are the sun. We are the sunlight. We are the sunsets, the sunrises. We are the rain and the rainbows. We are the trees and the forests, the soils, the skies, clouds, the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams. We are everything, and everything is us. So the next time that you see a sunset or a sunrise, or this time of year the changing colors, or a beautiful starlight sky, it's you. It's the God that you are within that body. You're the beauty. You're the majesty. You're the divineness. You're the joy, the peace, the tranquility, the pride. You're all of it. Always have been, always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. We continue to ascend above the planet, and some of us decide to step out of our physical form and float effortlessly above it. If we're carrying physical form, and why do we do that? Because we can. we come into immediate contact with this massive crystalline light tower. It's larger than the solar system. We created this tower. In the center of the tower, in the column, is this massive oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere is this massive golden white ball of light. It is surrounded by multicolored rings of light. And we see that it is absolutely dispersing massive clouds of electrified energy that literally absorb into us like a warm blanket continuously. And the golden white bowl of light is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Then comes gratitude, peace, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, well-being. Tranquility, benevolence, great prosperity, great abundance. And we discover that it is us, the reflection of the gods that we are. We then look at the top and we design the top of this column so that the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees, as it's been doing for an eternity. But as we become consciously aware, it's saturating all of us. And it is pure, deep, eternal love. Bathing every single one of us nonstop. Now we are drops of this golden ocean. We also hold the essence of this golden ocean. Golden ocean is the drops of the golden ocean. And the only illusion is separation. We see our meditative sphere. It's that center circle. We created this sphere well over 3.5 years ago. It holds nearly 1,600 of our meditations in perpetual motion. They don't fade. They don't lose their energy, their frequency. They don't lose their intent. They don't lose anything. As a matter of fact, they continue to intensify and they continue to expand. Flooding us all. All of us gathered. Hundreds of millions. If you really want to go with the ones that aren't awake, billions and beyond. This is how you liberate a planet. This is how it's done. It won't be the last one we do. And this is the true joy of all of it. I'll join you in meditation, return to close us out. Take an easy breath in through the nose and an easy breath out through the mouth. Move easily and slowly. The self is like the screen, and the world is like the pictures on it. You can see the picture only so long as there is a screen. But when the seer himself becomes the screen, only the self remains, Ramana. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. Then we will return here Wednesday, September 22nd, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call, and 9 p.m. Eastern for our On Fire EFCC call.